Okay, it's rap pack to my pulse flat. We keep it real, no false rap. I got 4 cars and they all black. Got 4 bras and they all ballin'. I came from nothing to something like it's nothing. Yeah, you know I done it. That is no discussion, bitch. I'm ballin'. I made a promise to my mama. I'ma turn these.
Oh, hey there. I almost didn't see you. So you think you have what it takes to rule the streets? Okay then, kid. Let's go for a ride. So Need for Speed Heat brings itself back to its roots. Well, as close to its roots as it can get since Need for Speed Underground and Underground 2. It goes back to its roots of street racing, claiming the streets, and working your way through a storyline, mostly involving street racing. That's how you do things. But there's a few things that could be improved, and a few things that it does so good that I almost have flashbacks of Underground. Let's talk about that as we get into it. Game gods! So here we go. What do we want to talk about today? We're going to start with the bad, and then we're going to flow into the good. So the number one thing that I think that they really should have worked on is a character design. Never have I seen as many ugly characters. I don't just mean the chicks. The guys are horrible too. Everything is just bad. It's like a kid with Crayola created the characters and they just okayed it. I haven't seen characters this bad since Skyrim. Let that sink in. The biggest problems come with the stock design of the characters. You can't change like the body types or the face types or any of that stuff, but they do let you put them in different attire, and you can do like accessories like shades, masks, and even hair. Except for all those options are really bad, so it's like they're not even in the game. In fact, the chick that I tried to create and tried to make it look better, I did everything within my power. She was so ugly, I actually just put a mask on her. There was no other way to correct the travesties of their art team. Now let's talk about the customization options. Like I said, I put a mask on her to try to mask the badness. I wouldn't have put a mask on her if I had better options. There were no options for heels, there were a few for skirts. The pants are just all skinny jeans. They have like 5 different styles and 100 different colors. And you don't even get to pick the colors. They're just already stock. They tried to do something, but it's almost like it was an afterthought. Like they made the racing game and then they were like, oh yeah, we should let people put on clothes. And you might say, but Kenetica isn't it a racing game? And Kenetica would answer that by saying, don't put a half-baked idea in there. If you're not gonna finish the cookies, don't start cooking. The story, oh man, it's got really good and really bad points. The story itself is pretty cool. So you deal with corrupt cops trying to crack down on illegal street racing. Well, you are the street racer, so of course you're the good guy. Being a street racer myself, I tend to think you are. I agree.
This is insane. I must have driven past here 1,000,000 times. What is this place?
Whenever things got bad at home, this is where I came.
You must have been here a lot.
Not after Papi died.
Luca, what happened?
The problem with the story isn't in its execution, the characters, or anything else. It's the fact that it's so short. Yeah, I wanted more. I wanted the story to keep going. I didn't want it to get dragged out with filler, but it was over before I knew it. In fact, the story was so short, I unintentionally beat it. It was shorter than doing a Halo campaign on easy. It was just not okay. In fact, I don't think I've played a story this short since Street Fighter 2. Now, let's get to the good. Let's talk about that story again real quick, shall we? The story, even though it was short, super short as a military buzz cut, it was damn good. The characters, the acting, the people you meet, all of them had good personality. Even if they were in a car and you couldn't see their body, you could only hear them during a race. They did very good with the voice acting. I really liked it.
Hey,
Hey,
so what's up?
not much. You okay?
Yeah,
Miss having wheels, huh?
you have no idea. I'm literally having daydreams about stealing the kid's go-kart in my neighbor's yard. It's pink and has pedals.
What's the top speed on that thing?
Downhill looks pretty fast.
Look, I got some money. I could...
No, thanks. I appreciate it, but this is on me. I'll let you get back to it. Later.
The fact that the two main characters in this are a pair of Latino brother and sisters is a nice, change from the normal norms for main characters that you get.
Luca! Get us out of here!
You guys okay?
Luca? Yeah, I'm good, I think. Let's go.
Come on. You want me to drive? You read my mind.
Come on, come on. Hold on, wait. Wait a minute.
What the hell is she doing?
All units, officer is in need of assistance. Possible PC on Polson and May. Got visual on the site.
Shit.
Officer down.
Hannah, move!
Suspect's trying to flee the scene.
Step aside, sweetheart. I'm just getting started.
And of course, you get to be whatever ethnicity that you like. Just know you're gonna be damn ugly, and everybody else that you meet is gonna look way better than you in the game. Probably like your real life. Now, another thing I'd like to talk about is the voice options. They gave you one stock voice for about 15 different characters. Well, about 7 males and 7 females. 1 male, 1 female voice respectively. It doesn't work. When you have black people, Asian people, Latinos, Latinas, freaking I don't know what ethnicity this dude is. When you have all that, and then you put some 40-year-old sounding white girl as a voice actress, it's kind of bizarre hearing that come out of like some Asian chick who looks like she's 24. Strange, to say the least. I would have suggested maybe each gender having 4 different voices. Because you definitely can't put that stock white guy voice on this gangster looking black dude. Fuck you doing over here, guys. EA, I know you have some black people in your office. Drift isn't like any other game before. You drift using the gas pedal. They have a side option for those of you who may not like that and think that you want to use the brakes instead. But that doesn't work either. And here's why. When you drift with the gas pedal, you maintain momentum throughout your drift, going through corners, making for an exciting execution when it works. But if you didn't mean to drift, you're just letting off the gas to reapply the gas as you come out the corner like you would do in a real race, you end up drifting. So drifting with gas, not quite on point. Drifting with brake is a little bit more accurate, but you lose a shit ton of speed. The correct way to handle this EA would just have been to have people drift with e-brake. That's how I've been doing it since 1992 or whenever I was drifting. You know what the fuck I mean. Now, if you look at the car customization options, you might start to see why they fucked up on your character. Cause this shit is fantastic. They got everything from color sliders for your paint job, your decals, you got rims, you can choose a finish from like 12 or more different types of finishes. You can go from gloss to chrome to freaking carbon fiber, checkered carbon fiber. You got like a straight carbon fiber. You got every kind of carbon. You can just carbon everything up except for you. But you don't want to carbon yourself because then you'd be like the Tin Man from Wizard of Oz. Anyways, point is, you can do whatever the fuck you want to your car and make it look great. In fact, here's mine. Fantastic. Now, not only can you make your ride fly as F, you can also have a lot of them. And boy, are there a lot. There's over 100 different cars in this game. You got everything from your Lexus to your BMWs to your exotics like the Lambos and Ferraris. You got everything that you need to go fast and look good while you do it. The only problem I have here is they didn't have my Hyundai Genesis 2016. What are you doing, man? And they didn't have the 2020 Stingray. That's the hottest car of the year. You gotta get that, even if it's a DLC, hopefully for free, but we know it won't. Now let's talk about the car progression in and outside of the story. When you go through the game, you got two different ways that you progress through the game, right? The way you get cars and hook them up. Some things, parts and cars, are only available to you depending on your rep. Completely different than real life where money rules everything. At the nighttime, you drive for reputation so that people do business with you. And in the daytime, you drive for money so that you can afford to do the business they want to do. It's like a bad social media world where nobody wants to talk to you unless you're popular. And then you gotta have the money to get the shit you want. But because it's a game, it's meant to work for you. So it does feel pretty good. Now here's the less exciting portion of that, right? Is that the way you race and the things that you do are just standard. Like you just go up to a little flag on the map, you say I want to race, and you race it. If it's nighttime, you get rep. And if it's daytime, you get cash. The only problem with that is it's so freaking generic. Like you just click the flag and then you just go. There's nothing to it, no sustenance. If they could have added a little sustenance to most of the races, it would have felt like you're doing something more than just a simple grind, right? So it's a bit bland, even though it works. But hey, we're here for the cars, the speed, and the victory at the end, right? So I'm not too mad about it. Now, if you're looking at this on your PC, or if you're playing it on like a pro version of a console, then you are looking at something sweet, sweet, buttery sweet. If you're playing it on the base console, it still looks good. Good enough to make me happy. Even on base console, you're getting some very nice lighting effects, clean rendering, and even though it only runs at 30 frames a second, which is a nightmare for a game that moves this fast, it's still enjoyable. So I would have to say that this is the best Need for Speed ever. Well, graphics wise, as it should be. Still not as fiery or as fun as the Underground series, but it's as close as they're gonna get anytime soon. Now, in a racing game, I don't know if you could say the cars are more important or the environments you race in. I mean, if you don't have cool cars, then who cares where you're racing? And if you have cool cars but where you race sucks, then it's not any fun. So I guess it's a 50-50 split. They nail the tracks 50% of the time, and the cars almost 100%. So put those two together and you have a nice racing experience. The different parts of the city do look different enough. You got some that are a little beachy, you got some that are a little more rural, almost country-ish, and then you got this really cool place in the top left corner of the map that has satellites. It's awesome. But my favorite part is racing straight up in the city. Let's go, baby. Need for Speed. Tell the cops to bring it on. To summarize how I felt about this, the tracks were cool. The lighting was great. Not all the tracks are great, but all the cars they offer, they have a place in this game. Your character is gonna suck, it's gonna be ugly, it's gonna be the worst looking character in the game. Even the bad guys and girls look better than whoever the fuck you choose to play. It's a bad feeling, man. But everything else as far as it being a racing game definitely hits the nail on the head. I can't dock them points for not having my Hyundai Genesis, or maybe even the Stingray in there. There's always gonna be some cars that don't make it that somebody would have liked to see. If I did that, I'd start to sound like the Pokemon complainers. The fact is that EA actually did this pretty well, and I'm not mad at them yet. They might come out with some kind of loot box for wheels thing, but until that does, at the moment, I say Need for Speed is definitely a buy. You don't need to wait on this, you don't need to get it used, and you definitely don't need to pass it. You need to put your foot in the gas and smash it. The CD drops this December. Anyways, guys, God Kenetica giving this one an official thumbs up. Bam! I want you to hit the follow button, the like button, all my social media buttons. Get me some goddamn reputation. and I'll see you in the streets. Peace out, rookie.